Yo, this is Solo P1. Welcome. This is the Spanish Grand Prix. Well, it's not the preview. It's kind of the pre-show, but it's the F1 Flaming Tarmac episode 73. And this is the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, which will be starting tomorrow. Every weekend we do one of these shows going into the weekend. And yeah, this is what we do. We talk briefly about the Spanish Grand Prix. That was the last one 2 weeks ago. And also we're going to talk about the Canadian Grand Prix, which is this weekend as well. Remember, guys, remember to smack those like buttons, and I hope you appreciate everything as well. So before I bring in Toto, I'm going to do my little intro for the F1, and we'll start. So let's do this first.
On the brakes, Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, comes the chicane, off goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff.
So there you go. So I'm going to bring in my co-cues, my partner in crime, Toto.
Big up, man.
So before we start getting into this, I want to thank everybody who's given us the recommendation on iTunes and Spotify. Remember, guys, we still got a load. We still got a lot to put on there. Your room looks big, bro. Oh, yeah, you can see it better now with the flaming thing. Just zoom up a bit if you want. But yeah, for people listening to us on the iTunes or the Spotify or the Stitcher, the audio podcast, remember this goes out to you as well, guys, as well. I will get onto it today. I'm going to start bringing up the first couple of episodes because we ain't got around to it. If there's a bit of a delay with the stream, that's StreamYard. It's been going around with nothing we could do about it. We couldn't get on there before. Now the same when we went live, there's a lot of traffic involved as well regarding the stream. So they're having some technical difficulties as well. But we're gonna get through it. We'll soldier through it. So this is the F1 Flaming Tarmac episode 73, the Canadian Grand Prix weekend preview. So before we start getting into the Canadian Grand Prix, let's talk about briefly over the race, what's going on with the Spanish Grand Prix. The Spanish Grand Prix was controversial, I'd say. As you can see on my thumbnail, I've put it on the thumbnail in very clear English. Do you think Max should have got more? Now, in my opinion, in my opinion, I think he should have. I think he should have been black flagged. That was the rules. Rosberg was alluding to it as well. They said, look, he got offered it. He should have got a black flag. He got away with it. He only got a 10-second time penalty. So when he finished the race, he only got 1 point. But I think he should have been black flagged and off the race because he was a very reckless individual. And this proves my point, what I've been saying for the last couple of years. It's not about hating Max Verstappen. It's just calling it the way it is. The guy's reckless. And that's it, in my opinion.
No, what he did on that weekend was uncalled for. Of course, we know what Max is like, and the interviewers are saying, "Oh, yeah, he's changed. Oh, he's got a more, calm mindset. Max, he's got a more calm mindset now that he's."
You got the lights on in there, bro. You look dark on the picture. So carry on. I can hear you still talk. It's all right.
But yeah, he was coming into this season as more calm than me, as a more calm driver.
Yeah.
As soon as someone sticks it wheel to wheel with him, he never ever comes out clean.
No.
You see Russell go wheel to wheel, and you see Lewis go wheel to wheel. You can always see him come out the wheel to wheel clean. There's really no contact. When Max Verstappen, there's always the controversy. There's always the FI getting involved. But yeah, my overall thoughts on it is that he should have been out. He should have been out the race. He shouldn't have finished with points. The way what he done was Formula One game kind of stuff. You wait for the guy, you let him go past you. You wait for the guy, and then you go bash him just like that.
Yeah,
he purposely rammed into him. It weren't no lockup. It weren't no understeer or oversteer. He purposely got his wheel and drove into his car intentionally. That is dangerous. That could have took Russell out the race. Anything like that could have took Russell out the race. If he would have clipped his back tire instead of the bodywork, it would have probably put him out of the race. So and put himself in a very, very, very dangerous situation. The guy's just a dangerous driver by trade.
Yeah, 100%.
Simple as that. He's not like he's a good driver. No, he's a dirty and reckless driver. Really, really, really reckless. Sometimes you can get reckless drivers and aggressive drivers. Ayrton Senna is one of them, but you can't really put Ayrton Senna in. You can't put Max Verstappen in Ayrton Senna's
Oh
boots.
God, no.
No doubt about that. So Max Verstappen simply is just a aggressive driver, really too aggressive, and always breaks the rules. Because every time when it comes to these battles, he just always breaks the rules. And we saw it with Russell, purposely ramming into him. He should have been out, man. He's all his license points should have been took off him and get him at least a 1 or 2 race ban. He didn't deserve to be on that Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah. I'll just set your DM. I'll set your
And
product
also,
message.
he's only 1 point. He's only 1 point away from a race ban.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute quickly. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for mentioning that as well. Yeah, so it was lap 64 really where he crashed into Russell. What it boils down to, where I think where Red Bull made the mistake is when they put the hard tires on. They pitted too much for starters. I don't know why they pitted multiple times. And they pitted too many times. Even the other team said at the end when I had the debrief, there was shot that went for that aggressive strategy. But it is what it is. Look, at the end of the day, right? He went for the aggressive strategy. He tried to do like the 3 or 4 pit stop. Didn't work. They put the hard tires on. And lap 64 after the safety car, he rammed straight into Russell. And I remember the first thing that Rosberg said. He says, "That's a penalty. That's a black flag. That's the rules. Black flag. It's happened before in Formula One, but for some reason they protect this guy. And they gave him a 10. You know what they do when he's supposed to get penalty? What they do, they say, right, we're going to work it out. We'll give him a 10-second time penalty, but at least he'll finish with a point. So really, he's not getting penalised. All right, he's losing a few points, but he didn't get black flag. Because when you get a black flag, you get a race ban or something like that. But anyway, the next time he ever does something like that again, or even close, he's going to get a race ban. But will he do anything in the next 3 months? Nothing's going to happen.
If you get
he won't do nothing.
Get race points.
He'll be clean now. For, let's say, if he does it in the next 2-3 months, he gets a race ban, and after the 3 months, he's got a clean record again. But what's going to happen is he won't do it. What's going to happen? He won't do anything. He's going to be a clean driver.
Max. He's Max. He's going to do something.
He won't, because he knows he's going to get a race ban. He won't do it.
It's going to be mild. It's going to be over like really.
Yeah, but he'll get away with it. He's not getting a race ban. They will not give Max Verstappen a race ban. We know how these FIA work and these stewards. They will not give him a race ban. He will get off of it. He gets off with everything. We know how to do it. They do everything for Max Verstappen. They always have. That's what it is. That's there that they want Max Verstappen. They want him to try and break all Lewis's records. That's what it is. They want him to break all Lewis Hamilton's records. And that's my opinion, the way I look at it. And they're just not going to do it. Anyway, so enough of that, yeah. That's how it ended. The other drivers know what he's like. They tried to get stuff out the drivers regarding Max Verstappen. And they all kept quiet as we didn't really see it, but we know deep down we know what he's like. He's just a reckless individual. And people always say, oh, yeah, he's Max Verstappen, he goes for everything. Yeah, but at the end of the day, right, he's reckless. He's reckless, and eventually he's going to, God forbid, he hurt someone. So let's talk about that. He doesn't hurt someone. So let's talk about the next one, which is the Canadian Grand Prix. Toto, what do you think of the Canadian Grand Prix coming up?
Canada's a really good track.
Yeah.
It's always famous for that Wall of Champions.
The
last corner.
Yeah.
Absolute horrific corner. Lots and lots of people's crashed there, and you know how it come down a long straight, and then the car has to slow down momentarily. It requires a lot of reaction time to nail those corners. There's tight corners there. There's a couple fast bends. So I would say it's a power track. I would say that because most of the bends are just fast bends. There's quick dab on the brakes, another fast bend, and then it goes into a long, a tight chicane, which I hate that chicane. I absolutely hate it. Drove it on a simulator. Absolutely hate that Canadian Grand Prix chicane. The one before the last straight. But yeah, it's a good track. It's one of my favorites actually. You know, you're gonna expect. I think there's rumors now that, you know, how the weather forecast is looking like, that there could be a bit of rain on race day. It's always like this in Canada. There's always rain on race day. If it's not heavy rain, it's light rain. So it's not going to be the greatest conditions. It seems like it's not going to be the greatest of like summer and sunny conditions. It's going to be a bit, it's going to be a bit cold and potentially rain on Sunday when the race does start. So it's going to be interesting because you know what rain's like. It always plays.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, look, when I see Canadian Grand Prix, when I look at the Canadian Grand Prix, I look at it as a kind of it's a cross between a normal circuit. When I say normal circuit, I mean not street track. I think it's got a bit of street track in him as well. Even though it's a track on its own, it's a proper track. Yeah, I look at it as a bit of a street track as well, because you know the way the surface is. It's like a street track. You know, when you go around, they got the metal barriers and stuff like that. I think it's part street track and part like a normal track, like a normal GP track. This is what I like about it. It's got its corners. You can overtake. I hate that slow chicane, what you alluded to as well. That little small one you go when you can lose a lot of pace there. That can actually destroy your lap. You know, when you're going for a pole at the Canadian Grand Prix and they got that chicane that goes like a half chicane, that's a very difficult one to master. That's the key. But yeah, this is one of Lewis Hamilton's favorite tracks, one of his diamond tracks. I think he's won it 8 times. So he's going to be comfortable here. It was just an interview not long ago, an hour ago. I'm going to read the dialogue. The text on it, it says Lewis shared that he was relieved to have confirmed that the car issue was hindering him during the Spanish Grand Prix, something he only found out after the race. So basically what he's saying there, I think I know what he's saying there, is that they figured something out on the car. He only found out after the race finished, but he's figured out something on the car, and he's hoping to get a better performance out of the car this weekend, and it looks very positive. I'm actually watching the video now. I can't put it on because of the copyright, but he's looking very positive regarding the car, which is good news. It's good news for us as Liverpool fans, as Lewis Hamilton fans. I hope it does. The car does start to do something. I think it's too late regarding the championship. Regarding Lewis, I think it's regarding for Lewis to try and catch. I think Lewis should try and catch the McLaren guys. I think that's over. I think Trent's give up on that as well, because not Trent. What am I talking about? Trent. I'm talking about all again. I think Max has gave up on that as well, because at the end of the Spanish Grand Prix, Max said his car's not good enough. We're not going to catch him. We're not going to catch him. They're too fast. So, but it'd be nice.
It's that loss of Adrian Newey, man. Ever since that lost to Adrian Newey, about the aerodynamics, and it's just everything's gone down. I think when Adrian Newey's gone to Aston Martin, he has some time to get used to the car. And Aston Martin's looking like a way better car. You see Alonso performing really, really well these last 2 races. Reliability was an issue for Aston Martin as well. Really bad reliability these past races, and Alonso was getting DNF.
You're right.
And all that. And Alonso was running in good positions, 5th, 6th place, really competitive positions. Yeah. And as soon as Adrian Newey's gone there, got used to the car, now has less reliability. I know he's more of an aero man, but of course,
I don't think this year's not really Adrian Newey car. Next year's going to be Adrian Newey car.
Yeah, but you can see how Aston Martin's improving now.
I don't know about improving. I think they've been really terrible this year, to be fair.
No. I mean the last two races.
Oh, yeah, the last 2 races, they've definitely improved. But that's not really Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey's really focusing on next year's car, you get me? Oh, don't get me wrong, he's probably overseeing a few things on this year's car. But his energy, his power is going into all next year, because that's going to be his car. This is what Roman Reigns said.
Acknowledge me! Shut your bitch ass up!
There you go. I just had to play that as one of the new audios I put on there. I just had to showcase it. Absolutely nothing to do with the F1 Grand Prix. I just wanted to do it. So yeah, we got the Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to put up a few notes, what's been on the website, what's going on in the news, and then we'll move on from there and we'll just head off. So it's the Canadian Grand Prix. I can't wait till it starts. Let's bring this up on the screen. Share the screen like we do. This is for people. For people listening to it on the audio, we're just sharing the screen and regarding some news. Basically, this is with Hamilton and Fred Vasseur. He has my full support. This is Fred Vasseur. There you go with the pop-ups. He has my full support. Hamilton backs Vasseur as the man. So Hamilton backs Vasseur.
Lewis Hamilton said it was nonsense.
Yeah, it says Lewis Hamilton has given his backing to Ferrari. I've got to read it out because of the audio podcast, isn't it? Lewis Hamilton has given his backing to Ferrari team principal Fred Russell amid speculation over the Frenchman's future at the squad, with Hamilton stating that Fred Russell is a person to take us to the top. The Scuderia has ended some ups and downs so far in 2025 as Hamilton continues to adapt to the outfit following his switch from Mercedes, while Charles Leclerc has also faced some tough outings through arrives into Canadian Grand Prix weekend off the back of 2 podium finishes. So, speaking during Thursday's media day in Montreal, Hamilton has quizzed on reports about Vassier's position. Basically, when he was in the media, was asking him, is Fred Vasseur going to leave Ferrari at the team, leading to 7-time world champion retaliate that while things may not always be completely smooth for the squad behind the scenes, he fully supports Vasseur. He's definitely not nice to hear that there's stories like that out there. Hamilton responds, firstly, I love working with Fred. Fred's the main reason I'm in the team. Remember that when Lewis Hamilton was younger, he was working under Fred Vasseur as well. So Fred Vasseur has known Lewis Hamilton for over 20 years. So they got that relationship between them as well. I think that is one of the main reasons why he went to Ferrari as well. Fred was the main reason I'm here at the team, and I got the opportunity here, for which I'm forever grateful. And we're in it together. So Lewis Hamilton is backing him. So that's going to go a long way for them. Because, look, let's face it, the upper hierarchy in Ferrari, the managers, the main people, the bosses, they're probably looking at Fred Vasseur and thinking, look, we've had a terrible season so far. So the rumors, when rumors start, it's come from somewhere, you get me? The rumors have come from somewhere. So Lewis Hamilton there showing his full support for Fred Vasseur. What's your opinion on this, Toto?
I think Lewis Hamilton, I think it shows the good relation between them two.
Yeah.
Fred Vasseur always liked Lewis Hamilton when he signed him. And I think Lewis just wants to shut up all the stupid media, because all the media always spout, rumors about Hamilton. He's falling out with the team. He's falling out with the Ferrari. The only thing I can tend to believe is that he falling out with his race engineer, but this is not about his race engineer. It's about the relationship with him and Vasseur. And all week I've been hearing, every single week you hear this. You get, even Lewis Hamilton gets asked in the interview, are you falling out with Ferrari? Are you falling out with the team? You're falling out with the principal and all that, right? And now they're putting out rumors that he might be exiting Ferrari, which is nonsense. Quote unquote, Lewis says it's nonsense, because you're always going to get these interviewers that are going to say the same thing, that Lewis is falling out of Ferrari, Fred's going to leave, Vasseur's going to leave, and it's a never-ending cycle. And I think Lewis Hamilton just probably getting sick of it and just said, look, it's not true. It's just not true. You never really see Lewis blunt like this, do you? You can see the change of attitude in Lewis.
This is why I don't like. So this is why I don't like speaking to certain media outlets a lot after the race. He does what he's contracted to do, but the extra stuff. This is why I don't like it. He says another thing he doesn't like as well, which is in his contract. When he's about to race or go for qualifying, he never speaks to the media as well. So that he always puts that in his contract. And I think obviously people like Sky, especially Sky Germany, certain commentator Ralph Schumacher, it is what it is. He says most people don't know what's going on in the background. It isn't all easy. It's not like it's all the smoothest sailing in the background. We are having to make changes, and there's a lot of work to do, and that is naturally a lot of pressure, because we want to win. So naturally, there's a lot of pressure. But that's not any part of the discussion at this moment. So what he's saying on there, because we're working hard, it's not smooth sailing, and there's always a pressure. There's a lot of pressure on the team. It's Ferrari. You're going to get pressure. It's the most famous team in Formula One. History, facts. It's the most successful team in Formula One. Facts. Even though Mercedes are not far behind them, but they are still the most successful team. Every time you think of F1, you think of Ferrari. Don't matter if you don't like
Ferrari. Ferrari's just going to be a long-term project.
Ferrari is just like when Schumacher went there, it was a long-term project. And look what happened there. He ended up winning 5 in a row. Nothing else to say. And
Lewis is there to help him set up the car.
Who says that Lewis can't win 5 in a row? All right, he's 40 years of age. say next year that car pulls off. Imagine when next year comes and that car, because you know when next year there's different regulations, no more ground effects. It's about power of the engine. The power is basically based on power of the engine. If that comes out next year and it's back to Ferrari on top with Mercedes, people are going to realize why Lewis went there. I personally think when Lewis signed for Ferrari, he knew this was going to be a transition period. He knew he wasn't going to get in that Ferrari car and start winning races. That's stupid. He's going there to get the car set up for next year. I wouldn't be surprised, when he goes to the F1 factory, when he's doing stuff, he's working on next year's car. This car is just a test dummy. You get me? Because nobody cares about this year now. We know that the season's over. It's all about next year. Because when next year starts, if you nail the regulations at the beginning, you're the team that's going to dominate for the next 4 years. These regulations is over now. We know the season's over and we know it's going to be the McLaren boys. So why would Ferrari put all their money and effort into this car? They're just trying to make the car stable. That's it. So they can win, get on the podium. They know they're not going to win the championship. But next year, they want to win the championship because they know that the word coming out of the Mercedes factory, that car for next year is fast. This is why Verstappen is linked to this is why Verstappen is linked to Mercedes. That's why. That's why Max Verstappen is linked to Mercedes, and which we'll get onto the next thing in a minute before we head off. But yeah, I've got nothing else to say on that. I think at the end of the day, Lewis is going to back his man, and Fred Vasseur ain't going nowhere. They'll probably give him to next year and see how it goes. But the next one I'm going to talk about, what popped up on my timeline during the week, is that there's rumours, big rumours, that George Russell is going to Aston Martin next year. That's the rumours going around. Now, yeah, that's the rumours. That George Russell is linked to. It's not official news yet, but that's the rumours that George Russell has been linked with Aston Martin. That's the rumours what's going around. Now, if that's the case, which I tend to kind of agree with these rumours, I think they might have some fidelity to it. I think this might be true because that makes sense then that Max Verstappen would jump in that Mercedes seat. Because I always said, if Mercedes have got a chance to get Max Verstappen, right, they'll get him. And I think Russell will be the guy who's going to leave. Personally, if it was me with Mercedes, I'd keep Russell there. I would keep Russell. I'd have Antonelli and I'd have Russell. That'd be my team going forward. But I think that they're going to go for Max Verstappen. They want Max Verstappen. I wanted him last year. They threw big numbers at him. He said, no, I'm not going to do nothing at the moment because Red Bull was the fastest. Max Verstappen, when next year comes, he's going to start off with Red Bull. He will do one more season with Red Bull next year.
Max.
And Max Verstappen will. And when he sees that car's not good, what's going to happen then? He will jump ship and he will go to Mercedes. And then Russell will go to Aston Martin.
Before, haven't we? We've said this before, and
that's the rumour. Remember we said this months ago?
Yeah.
It's happening now because the rumours are that Russell might be going to Aston Martin. What's going to happen is, I remember Alonso as well. Alonso said that when next year comes, it might be his last season. He wants to see how it goes and he might dip out after next season. So Alonso will come into next season, do one more year, then he'll be gone. They're looking at Russell to replace him. So if Russell goes to that team, Aston Martin, yeah, I think Max Verstappen will go to Mercedes and then Russell will go to Aston Martin. That's my opinion. Or it could go the other way. Max Verstappen could go to Aston Martin because I heard that they wanted him as well, but I think he'll go to Mercedes, in my opinion, because I think the Mercedes car is going to be really fast. So Lewis will probably do a couple more years at Ferrari. If the car's fast and he's up there, he'll probably stay a bit longer. But next year, he's going to be very vital. So what's your thoughts on these rumours, Toto? I know we've been talking about this before. What's your thoughts? Could you see some kind of truth in it that Russell goes to Aston Martin after next year?
I can, because linking to the Max Verstappen, Mercedes is looking really, really good. He's destined to look really, really good in the new regulations. So that will attract Max's eyes even more. Aston Martin with the new signing of Adrian Newey, and like he said, Adrian Newey's more focused on to next year, which he is. He'll be more focused on the car next year, and Aston Martin is going to be good for the long-term project. Alonso looks like he's staying at Aston Martin or maybe retiring because I don't see Stroll leaving, man. I don't see Stroll leaving because if the rumors are true, right, which I think they are, there is some sense to it. I don't want Alonso to leave, but I have this little feeling that he will.
I think he'll do one more season next year, though.
I think Alonso will retire.
Yeah, he's gonna after next year. He's got one more year in his contract. He said that he was gonna do it.
He's gonna retire because Stroll isn't leaving. His dad owns the flipping. His dad's got shares in the company.
He owns the company.
He's majority owner, right? He owns it, and whatever he says, his son's just going to stay in there anyway. His son's going to stay in Formula 1. Stroll's going to stay in Formula 1. It's sad to even say because Stroll has simply not been good enough. He's been in Williams's, he's been in Aston Martin's, he's been in so many different cars, and he still hasn't pulled nothing out. He still hasn't progressed to the next level. So, if there's any sense to it, Russell going to Aston Martin, Alonso will do one more year at Aston Martin, then retire, and then Russell will go Aston Martin, and then for the long term project.
These are scenarios I can see happening because we're going to head up
Aston Martin just for Adrian Newey, because Adrian Newey would do stuff for that car you never imagine. So. Aston Martin will definitely be one for the regulations in the future. And what was it again? Max goes to Red Bull. That's my opinion.
There's two scenarios what's going to happen. Either Max goes to Aston Martin. He might want to work with Adrian Newey again. Remember, he was at Red Bull and Adrian Newey was there. So he's very familiar with Adrian Newey. He either goes to Aston Martin, Russell stays where he is, or he makes that jump, goes to Mercedes, because we know that Mercedes wanted him last year, but he didn't jump ship. He could go to Mercedes and then Russell goes to Aston Martin. That's the two scenarios, but it will happen. Not going to happen next year because they're going to be in their respective cars. Max has already announced he's going to be with Red Bull next year because he wants to see how the car is. And we're going to see what happens with Aston Martin, I think. And Alonso also said 2 weeks ago that he's going to see out his contracts next year. So he's going to do one more year in Formula 1. But that's it really. That's the other news what's coming. So the Canadian Grand Prix, the times. I'll try and get the times up when it starts, and then we'll head off and we'll leave you to get on with whatever you want to do. So the weekend, if you're in the UK, let's bring this up. If you're in the UK, I'm just showing guys for the audio people listening. We're just showing the times. I'll actually say the time so you know. If you're in the UK, it's going to be 6:30 in the evening to 7:30. That'll be practice 1. Practice 2, I'm going to miss practice 1 because I'm going to be out. So I won't be doing a watch along with that. Practice 2, I'll probably be back. Maybe I might be back for practice 2. That will start at 10 p.m. in the night. 10 p.m. obviously to 11 o'clock. And on Saturday, it's going to be 5:30 to 6:30 practice 3. Qualifying on the Saturday will be 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. and the race on Sunday will start at 7 p.m. So all good times, not too early, not too late. I think Canadian Grand Prix and probably Abu Dhabi have got the best times because it's not too early and it's not too late. It's like 6 in the evening, perfect. Race starts 7 in the evening, qualifying at 9, perfect. Absolutely perfect timing. So yeah, so I'm liking them times. So they're on the screen for people, but for the audio, I'll do it again. Practice 1, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Practice that will be on the 13th of June. And later on in the evening, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's practice 2. On Saturday, on the 14th, practice 3, it's 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Qualifying in the night to 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock. And the race day will be on a Sunday, the 15th of June, and that'll be 7 p.m. So that's it, guys. We're going to be heading off now. That's the end of the episode 73 of the Flaming Tarmac. Big up to you, Toto, and big up to everybody else as well. Let me just get the thing on and we'll go. See you later, guys. Bye.